Yeah, I missed the last one, and I'm determined not to miss the next one, so we'll just have to see about that. Alright, and now for my next guest. It's been a little over a month since the trial that held everyone's attention came to a close. 45-year-old Keith Baroni was sentenced to 7 years for assaulting 25-year-old Andrea Madison. Flocks of support have rained down for the victim, who we're fortunate enough to have with us today. Thank you for joining us, Andrea.
Happy to be here.
Now, before we get into the thick of it, I do want to address something. There has been some backlash against your support. A lot of people are pointing out what they see as lack of evidence or inconsistencies. Is there anything you'd like to say to those people?
I'd say you want to take everything about me and make it dirty and nasty, but the truth is, that is what he is.
He meaning Keith Baroni.
Personally, I think he's pure evil. I think he has no remorse. I don't believe a word that comes out of the man's mouth. Now that this has been settled, I'm just trying to move on from my own mental health. He's nothing to me. He may have been expecting a big Hollywood ending, but all I can say is Justice 1, Hollywood 0.
He didn't even touch you!
I'm so sorry. That must have been very hard. Not just for you, but for your loved ones as well. You know, people don't realize that when you hurt someone, you're not just hurting them. You're also hurting the people that love them.
You know, the last time I made these, everybody said they preferred them cut into cubes instead of slices.
Well, shape don't matter that much to me as long as it tastes good.
Hey, Graham. Hey, Gramps.
Hey, I've been wondering where you were.
You stop off somewhere on the way home from work today?
No, I just got a couple extra hours at work.
Oh, are you going to be working late again tomorrow?
Well, Mr. Stevens said he'd get back with me on it, but regardless, I'll have my normal hours tomorrow.
Do you know yet if you'll be missing church again?
Probably. I don't know yet. Smells good. What y'all making?
Tonight we're having stir fry.
That sounds good. Y'all need any help?
I think we got it.
That the mail you got there?
I don't know. Looks like mostly junk. Let's see. You got something from the bank. And, Graham, you got some coupons for Joanne's.
Oh, good. I've been meaning to stop by there. What's that one?
Finally got my letter back from Keith. I'm gonna go read it, maybe work on a reply.
All right, well, we'll call you when dinner's ready.
Thanks.
And make sure you tell him we miss having him for dinner, too.
I will.
You think he's been working too hard?
I think he's just throwing himself into work, trying to distract himself, you know. A lot of times when people lose a loved one like that, they get just buried in their job.
But he's not gone forever. He's just in jail.
No, I know, but it's not like he can pick up the phone and call him anytime he wants to anymore.
Well, I suppose. I guess that's better than him just moping around here doing nothing. But I don't like him missing that much church, though.
I think he's really missing those daily phone calls with Keith. You know, they really formed a bond together. Can't believe it's been that long since his dad walked out on him. The boy really needs a father figure.
You think I should feel guilty for not being able to fill that void?
You were his grandfather before Tim left him with us years ago, and you were just fine back then.
Well, thanks, hon. You've been a pretty fine grandmother yourself.
You know, he may not be our son, but he is our boy. And our boy is struggling.
Yeah. I don't know if there's too much good that I can do.
Just be there for him. Listen to him. Let God speak through you, and then let the Lord do what he does best.
How's the letter?
This is really what it used to be like. Waiting weeks just for a couple pieces of paper that feel like 1/3 of a phone call.
Some would say you're rediscovering a lost art form. How's Keith? He's still adjusting?
Better than me, apparently. According to him, contrary to every major motion picture, his prison isn't run by violent gangs and he feels relatively safe.
Well, isn't that good?
Even in prison, he's the most optimistic person I know. I'm probably safer in here than you are out there.
Sounds like Keith. How are you, though?
I miss him. I mean, I don't really know what else to say beyond that.
Say what you feel, son.
Okay, so I'm just like, how hard would it have been for them to just say not guilty? Like, it all hinges on that. You change that one factor and everything right now would be fine. Does that make any sense?
It's in God's hands.
That phrase stopped being a comfort to me a long time ago. Probably after I prayed every single day of the trial for just her lies to be exposed. I mean, what are all those verses about the truth setting you free? I mean, is that just meaningless? It just doesn't feel right that I can be out here while he's stuck in there. It's like I want to ask his lawyers why they're not doing even more to get him out. I want to stop neighbors at the mailbox or even random strangers and just say, how can you be living your life while this innocent man is in jail? Hundreds of actual rapists walk every single year, but all these people decide to go against the one who's innocent. You should see what some of the people are writing about him.
Staying out of those comment sections could be a good start.
They're just so malicious.
There are plenty of people out here that know Keith is innocent.
Yeah, well, not enough of them were in that courtroom.
Damn it, Dakota. I am trying here. Believe me. I wish I had Keith's ability to say the right thing.
For the record, Keith's losing that ability after what he just told me.
What's that? Dakota, I had no idea you have been holding on to so much animosity in your heart. A grudge just clutters up our lives and prevents us from being able to live abundantly and accept God's forgiveness. My heart goes out to Andrea. You can't help but feel sorry for her. I don't know why she did what she did or why I'm in here. Right now, we are a lot like Beetles on a billboard. We are too close to really see the big picture. The only way to see it is to let some perceptions go. Some folks make it really difficult to forgive them, but I think you ought to try forgiving Andrea and the rest of them.
He's got a vindictive slanderer, crowds of haters saying the worst things imaginable about him, and he wastes a page of his letter just to tell me that.
If he took the time writing it, he must have felt it was important. And I think you know what he's saying about forgiveness is true.
I know. It's just, I I know that neither one of us is getting an apology on this. It just feels like it's all I have left. I mean, the law screwed him over, and it didn't hold her accountable. If I'm not mad about it, then who is? I know you probably won't believe me, but I actually tried early on to just forgive and forget, like they say. But every time I saw her call what happened justice, it just ripped those wounds back open again.
Dakota, I'm going to tell you something that took me a long time to get. Choosing to forgive someone, it doesn't mean you won't struggle with it. Sure, it should be a one-time decision, but it's a lifetime grapple. And struggling with it, it doesn't mean that you failed, and it doesn't mean that you're condoning what they did either. Forgiving is letting the hurt and the anger out, so God has a chance to do his work in them too.
He's got his work cut out with Andrea.
I thought the same thing about your dad. I'm not going to say that the cases are completely alike, but I watched a person hurt somebody that I loved also. I lost a lot of years grappling with hate. It really strained my relationship with God. And you're going down that same path also if you keep up like this. And that's the last thing that I want to see happen to you, son. It took me a long time to let go of what he did, especially since he was someone that I loved too.
Well, no chance of me feeling that way towards Andrea.
I can't tell you why bad things happen to good people. No more than the hundreds of others who have asked that same question. Sometimes good things come out of bad circumstances. You always said that Keith had a way with reaching people, and I'm guessing that he could probably do more good in prison than anyone like Andrea ever could out of it.
I've thought about that. I hate thinking about it, but it wouldn't surprise me if there's people in prison who need him more than I do. Doesn't make me miss him any less, or hate what she did less.
Dakota, it's not an easy start. But when I decided that I was going to forgive your father, well, it was kind of nice knowing that I didn't have to hold a grudge against him anymore.
Do you still get mad about what he did sometimes?
Of course, it was wrong, just like what Andrea did. But I don't let it consume me anymore. Besides, a blessing came of it. Me and Graham, we got you.
Yeah, you got me for my awkward teen years.
And plenty of milestones, too. Learning to drive, Christmases, camping trips. Now look, I know Keith may not be getting any of that, but what she meant for evil, God will use for good. And he loves Keith more than any of us ever could.
She didn't snuff out his light, did she? She just redirected it.
And we don't want your light going out anytime soon either. You've got to stop working yourself to death, especially when it takes your time away from God.
Don't act like you haven't liked the little extra rent money.
Not that much.
God, I don't know what's going on. I really don't. But, God, I'm lost. I am so lost over what's happened. Help me to rely on you and whatever your plan is. And help me to forgive Andrea. And everyone else who's caused harm to Keith. I want to make that decision right now. I surrender this hurt to you. And God, Thanks for giving me some awesome grandparents through this. While we're out here, please protect Keith in there and give him opportunities to show who you really are. Amen.
Amen. And I am sure that he will reach a lot of people.
He's got the time. But it's 5 years till he's up for parole. Five years.
Come here.